Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Ellen Brunel, Superintendent, and I'm here filming this today on Tuesday, May 19th in the Select Board's room. In this large room is myself and Chris Hugo, who is filming, and he is probably 8 or so feet away. So on behalf of the Auburn School Committee, the leadership team, and the Auburn Public Schools in general, it is my pleasure to present to you the presentation regarding the FY21 budget request for the Auburn Public Schools. As you know, in the Auburn schools, we are comprised of 6 school buildings: Auburn High School, Auburn Middle, Swanson Elementary, Packagug, and the Bryn Mawr School. And I thank all of the leadership from those buildings, as well as the other leadership team members, for their incredible work in creating this budget once again this year. So a quote, everyone knows that I like to have quotes in my presentation, and this one is by an author unknown but seemed most fitting for our current circumstances. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where the power is. So just as we've done since 2008, the district was guided by our core values, our mission, and our vision in the development of this budget. But most importantly, against each decision was the question, how will this impact students and their achievement? So as you all know, back in 2017, for a second time, we brought together well over 100 people from the Auburn community to work together, I should say, to create a strategic plan that answered the question, how will we continue to ensure that we're providing the very best for the children of Auburn? And what resulted was a strategic plan. And I'm happy to say, and on behalf of those who have contributed to this, the work has been tremendous, and great progress has and continues to be made and is reflected in this budget request. So our shared core values, again, were a driving force, as well as our mission and our vision. So class size is an important indicator in the school district. And as you can see here, this budget projects class sizes that range from about 18 students to nearly 25 students. And that varies by grade level. And you do notice that there is going to be a shift of a 3rd grade teacher from the Swanson Road School down to Bryn Mawr School to bring some balance to those. It's really hard to predict in terms of Auburn High School class sizes, just based on the fact that students select their courses, so there is variability, but again, it stays within that 16 to 24 range. Earlier this school year, the school committee requested that NESDEC do an enrollment projection. And what you can see here from the screen is we're actually anticipating fairly level growth, fairly level numbers, I should say, over the next couple of years before we start to see some spikes. But this data chart tells a great deal. So from 2009 to 2012, the overall enrollment loss was 66 students across the district. However, conversely, from 2012 to this current school year, which started in 2019, we've seen an increase of 296 students. We do have school choice students included in there, but a net increase of just about 190 students, which is substantial given the fact that many area school districts have been seeing declining enrollment over recent years. So you may have heard about the Student Opportunity Act. This was a $1.5 billion education funding bill that was supported at the state level. And the intention was it was going to provide additional funding over the next 7 years to really impact student achievement. And much of the funding was going to be going to some of the urban centers, but Auburn was slated to receive in total Chapter 70 and SOA, Student Opportunity Act monies, of approximately $420,000. The question remains, what will this mean for the Auburn Public Schools? So originally when this money was earmarked for the Auburn Public Schools, it came with the expectation that a plan needed to be created on how we were going to positively impact student achievement with those monies. Due to the current pandemic and financial crisis that it is likely bringing onto schools and communities across the Commonwealth and the nation, it is uncertain whether those funds will come forward, but no definitive answer has been provided yet. So in total, the Auburn Public Schools requested budget is $27,676,055, which represents an increase of nearly $742,000, or a 2.75% increase over the approved FY20 amount. You will note here that this budget request reflects 0 staffing requests. As mentioned earlier, a third grade teacher is being transferred to the Bryn Mawr School to bring balance to the class sizes, but no new positions have been added. And I'm pleased to share that this budget has been supported by the Finance Committee, by the Select Board, obviously by the School Committee, but also by Town's administration. Town Manager Jacobson and CFO Casanova, and I extend thanks to all of them for their support. Similar to budgets that have been presented in the past, this budget reflects the priorities as set by the strategic plan, by the school committee, and leadership team. So student safety is obviously that of the most paramount. Not only students' physical safety, but also their emotional safety as well. Student achievement is only second to student safety, and with this budget, we will have equitable class sizes that we think are at appropriate levels. Preschool will continue, and the sliding fee scale will be there. We now have 5 classrooms for preschool. Beyond the school day, activities in clubs and opportunities are part of this, as well as IA and ABA support throughout the day and even beyond the day for those students who require it. So class sizes, as noted here, will be at or below 25 at the elementary level and appropriate elsewhere. Technology, we will continue with our one-to-one iPad initiative at grades 6 through 12, them having access 24/7, grades 3 to 5 throughout each school day, and at the grades K to 2, with the new lease that's being updated for the fall, they will in effect have a one-to-one, but those obviously will not go home as well. This allows us to maintain textbooks in the district so that they do not become too outdated. Our educator evaluation, we've really tried to take a little different bend on it this year and the focus will be next year to be looking at videos of non-Auburn teachers and seeing what we can learn from them, taking the best that we see, and actually having discussions around that. Professional development, we obviously want our teachers and staff to be as up-to-date. We have a tremendous staff in place, but we want to make sure that that stays the course. So professional development monies are included in this budget. And then, of course, I end with this, as I started, that it really does help us to see growth in the strategic plan itself. In total, offsets totaling $2.743 million are used in this budget, both from Medicaid, school choice, building rental, athletic revolving, and basically all of our revolving accounts, all in an effort to minimize the impact to the taxpayers of Auburn. And we really looked at overall, so we've seen an extended period of growth in students, staff, and programs. We are anticipating a tight budget. This 2.75% increase reflects that. And we also recognize that it may even become tighter as time goes on and more information becomes available. We are anticipating generally flat student enrollment in the upcoming school year, and we really did look at all programs closely, and we continue to do that. And again, the most important question being asked is, how will this impact students and their achievement? So just some brief assumptions that we made in this budget. We always use our October 1 counts, and those have fluctuated a bit. Our grant funds, we've used what we have currently in FY20 and anticipating for 21, and that we do not know what those values will be yet. Medicaid receipts, we've anticipated to be $150,000, down from the $200,000 that we asked for in the fall, just basically because some of the reporting and actually responding to data that we're providing to them. Circuit breaker at $283,000. We have continued school choice slots, and based on the fact that we have 2 teachers taking a leave next year, we brought in substitutes, long-term subs at lower rates. And our IAs and ABAs, we've kept them in place, but know that we're going to need to shift them around. We do have budgeted for 11 regular ed buses and to use a $100,000 offset in that, so that way, again, to minimize the impact to the taxpayers. And all revolving accounts, Satellite, Galaxy, Asteroids, building rental, preschool, and athletic revolving have been used to the degree possible to minimize the impact. And then finally, some of you may have seen that we have installed, working with a company, solar panels on the roofs of Auburn Middle and Auburn High. We do not yet have historical data to know what the hopefully positive impact of those will be, so that is not yet reflected in this budget. But all of what I have shared previously is all done in service to our students. We're very blessed in the Auburn schools to be able to provide a wide-ranging fine arts program, as well as an athletic program. Our students participate in community service learning to not only learn the value of giving back, but to give back to the local community that gives us so much. We look for opportunities for all of our students to succeed, regardless of their interests or levels. We feel fortunate to be working with a very supportive and collaborative leadership, not only the school committee, but across the town as well. Having the support of the community, the picture on the left there shows the 140 plus of us back in November of 2017, but also with the collaborative relationships that we have with all departments. Certainly our supportive parents who are there whenever we need them to be, and they are doing a tremendous job in helping to support the remote learning opportunities that our children are currently engaged in with the assistance of their teachers, to teamwork at its best. We have dedicated staff who meet together regularly when times allow that to happen, and as you can see on here through Google Meets, they are meeting regularly that way as well. But this is all done for our students because they deserve nothing less than the best that we can give them. In closing, James Barksdale said, "Keep the main thing the main thing." And this budget does just that. It keeps the main thing, our students and their success, as the main thing. Thank you.